Absolutely. And one of the biggest moves toward deterrence is what President Trump has announced, and that is the Golden Dome. And I want to ask you about that, because if Congress fully funds the Golden Dome, where does Lockheed play the biggest role? What would be your role in terms of the Golden Dome? Is it missiles? Is it space? Is it sensors? Walk us through that.
It's actually all of those, Maria. So if you sort of go from the ground up, we build the critical radar systems that are in use today, both strategic radars. We have one in Alaska we just turned on. Also, mid-size radars that are fixed. Also, mobile radars. For example, we have every layer of radar covered with our company. Look behind me, you can see the Morpheus drone. That is the lowest level of air defense for Golden Dome, meaning how do we shoot down drones and low, slow-flying cruise missiles that could be targeted at the United States or at venues like the Super Bowl or Washington, D.C. This is the lowest level. We actually teamed up with a startup company called Fordham to build a transportable radar to go with the Morpheus and to go with our Sanctum counter UAS system that's open architecture. We can plug and play all kinds of products into that, but we are going to be building the radars. We are building the effectors or missiles. We are building what you see behind us. Morpheus is a counter drone system, which is a drone itself that uses high power microwave to literally fry the electronics of a drone. It can actually destroy 50 drones on one battery charge in one flight using absolutely no ammunition and go back for a recharge and do it again. And we're going to go all the way from that level, which could be 50 to 100 feet high, all the way up to space, where we got selected as one of the providers of a space-based interceptor that will come from space orbit and be able to hit ballistic missiles coming at the United States. So we're going to be at every level and every sort of product line. This company is built exactly for Golden Dome. It's a perfect match, so we'll be very involved.
Kaulalao Malak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akimater in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, the Carmanians will come with great power. The U.S. in this war has not seen anything yet. Biblical prophecy has said that with great power shall the Carmanians come. The Carmanians speak of those wild boars of Iran. And one thing you must take into account is that within that 20-plus year span of Iran building underground, you do not exactly know of the arsenal, vehicles, and launchers they have built and accumulated within that 20-plus year span. But one thing is for certain. The scripture of 2 Esdras 15 and 30 is right on key when it says, but with great power shall they come. Let's go over to 2 Esdras 15 and 30. Here we have 2 Esdras 15 and 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Modern day Assyrian is Edom, and the land of the Assyrians is speaking of America. Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars. And when it comes to wild boars, they are aggressive. Those Iranian wild boars of Iran are the Persians, and it is prophesied that with great power shall they come. And when it comes to that great power, you are now witnessing their military power in its first stages. You are witnessing their missile capabilities and those drones in action in its first stages. And with great power shall they come. Iran has definitely been underestimated and are still being underestimated. Because the scriptures have said that with great power shall they come. And you don't know what they have underneath those mountains. And those underground tunnels, those missile cities, they could interconnect anywhere. Plus, do you really know the full extent of their enormous arsenal at their disposal? No. Remember that Iran possesses very sophisticated and accurate theater ballistic missiles with a range of 1,200 miles. And TBMs, which stands for Tactical Ballistic Missiles. They are also in possession of cruise missiles, unmanned systems, and kamikaze drones. And when it comes to this war that you are seeing, the tensions are high. They are extremely high. Right, because now, when it comes to America and Iran, they now find each other not trusting each other. We are no longer living in a time of peace, but of war, and Babylon the Great shall be removed from power. She shall be utterly destroyed with fire, with nuclear fire. Iran's military shall come with great power. Revelation 11 and 14. The second war is past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly. War means destruction. The second world war has passed. That's what it's saying. But the third world war of destruction cometh quickly, just as soon as they pass the CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. And it shall come quickly right after, as soon as they pass that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, has given Esau Edom the knowledge of the sword, and has created the modern day smith in order to bring out those many weapons of his indignation, right, of his righteous anger. Those weapons speak of those arrows of mass destruction. Now when it comes to the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, he is bound by his word, and he will not break it even for his great name's sake. As soon as they pass the CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16, you can best believe that that third world war cometh quickly, just as the scriptures have said. And that will usher in the end of E's empire. And on that day, the Carmanians will come with great power. That military power of the Carmanians is now being seen in its first stages, especially when it comes to Tel Aviv and its pink city. That's judgment that's going on in Tel Aviv. What happened to Tel Aviv, I should say. Because it's the Most High that's controlling the military steps of these nations to bring about his purpose, his will, right, to take out modern day Babylon. The Lord speaks of his purpose in Jeremiah 51 verse 29, right, to leave modern day Babylon desolate and without inhabitants. That is the Lord's will and purpose. The Carmanians in those first stages are showing great military power. Just look at what they have done to those U.S. bases around the region. In the so-called Middle East. Carmanians in those first stages are showing that great military power that the scriptures speak of in its first stages. And this also goes into that prophecy of let the weak say, I am strong. Because Iran, they know how to build nuclear weapons. They have the capability. They have nuclear capability. That being said, let's go over to Joel 3 and 10. Joel 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Now when it comes to Iran, they claim that they do not have arrows of mass destruction, but they do possess the know-how on how to make them. Plus, those arrows could be easily supplied unto them by Russia or China. Iran has definitely leveled out the playing field when it comes to the possession of nuclear capability. So has North Korea. Let the weak say, I am strong. That's what this scripture speaks of. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right. Because they now possess nuclear capability. And this pertains to those weaker and smaller nations that did not have nuclear capability at one point, but now find themselves in the possession of nuclear capability. Let the weak say, I am strong. Those weaker and smaller nations are now confident in saying, I am strong, due to the fact that they now possess nuclear capability and the know-how on how to make them. And not only do they possess nuclear capability, but they are also backed up by other greater superpower nations, Russia, China. And if those two unite, that's the end of modern-day Babylon the Great. Because you have too many superpower nations coming up against her. And Iran itself has become a power. These smaller nations have gone from being simple farmers to being a formidable military opponent upon the battlefield. Right, because at one point, the people of Iran were growing plants like barley, peas, and lentils. But now, look at them. And now they have become a great military power. And now, the scriptures have said, and with great power shall they come. You see? With that being said, Ka'olam Malak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kudash, and double honors to the elders of Jemes Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akimater in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Shalom.